to talk some NFL.
Being a man of increase.
A man of increase.
Free agent man of increase.
Yeah. Well, he's a good backup. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess.
Well,
It's a beautiful day.
Some talk that he may be winding down and maybe looking for an analyst role.
Oh, yeah, he'd be good at that.
Yeah.
Although,
I don't know if he'd be a good game analyst. He'd be a great studio dude, though, I think.
but you never know with these guys.
You never know.
I mean, I liked Robert Griffin III at first. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later, he's out of the game.
There's just a belief that maybe when he's done, because I think he's 31, 32, and you kind of know what he is at this point. Certainly he could still play if he wanted to, but there's some talk that he may be in a studio or a booth before too long.
Well, anyway, Travis Hunter, Heisman Trophy winner, Colorado. You were talking about him.
Yeah.
I wanted to read you what Brian Callahan said about him.
Yeah, because we now have two teams at the top of the draft saying they view him in two different ways.
Callahan said that he thinks Hunter would start at cornerback. It would be very, very difficult to be a full-time player on both sides of the ball. He says, though, this is the GM, sorry, the quote is, I think he could. You've seen it before. I'm looking for Callahan's quote. I had it here. Now it's gone. Bloop, 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 bloop. He said it's very realistic Hunter can play both ways in the NFL as he did in college.
See, and that's just not true.
So he'd start at corner and work in as a wide receiver.
Yeah, but, I mean, he played 100-plus snaps in college. You can't do that in the NFL. I mean, receivers and DBs break down all the time. Playing, and Travis Hunter was chipped up in college. So you're now going to take a guy and you're going to ask him to play 100 snaps a game over 17 weeks. It's not going to happen. So yes, the one that makes most sense is being a full-time DB and then again playing 15 to 20 snaps on offense. But this notion that he is going to be some sort of two-way full-time player, it's not going to happen. This is not Shohei Ohtani. Okay, this is not where it's going to work. And by the way, he is not a very big guy at all. In fact, if you remember, was it 2 years ago when he got his kidney or his liver lacerated? Like, he is not a guy that has a great frame. And so why you're spending a top 3 pick on someone and then try to break that guy down in 3 or 4 years is just silly. So he can say that he wants to play both and he'll be a gadget player on one side of the ball, but he's just not. So this idea, too, that he's a generational player, I just don't get it because he's not a generational receiver and he's not a generational DB. He's unique in that we've never really seen someone play both ways like this. We've seen like the Charles Woodsons of the world that kind of do gadget stuff, but we've never seen someone. So from that aspect, he's truly unique, but he's not generational at either one of these things. So I don't get the generational label that we're putting on him in the NFL.
Is he like Troy Brown? Who was like, you remember the receiver who went and played some DB when they needed him to?
Yes.
And he was good.
So, I mean, look, if you're taking Travis Hunter with the first or second or third pick, sure. If you think he is, as a corner, worth taking as the first, second, or third pick. But I think as a media in general, I think we have overhyped this because it is unique and it's different and we've never seen anything quite like it. But he does not project out probably as a first-round wide receiver, and he's not the best corner prospect we've seen. Like, Champ Bailey coming out was like, oh my God, this is truly unique. I don't even think he projects when you look at most people like a Patrick Surtain, who is Defensive Player of the Year. He projects out as a first, a top 15 selection at corner. Yeah. So if he goes number 1 overall, I'm telling you, that will be one of the bigger reaches at number 1 I've seen.
Yeah, so most of the analysts, like you said, I mean, they all think he's a corner.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because the Browns came out and said that they view him primarily as a receiver.
Yes.
And the Browns picked number 2. So perhaps they're doing some...
Yeah, it could be a smokescreen too. If someone wants to give you a bunch to move up, by all means, move up and take him because he is not someone that if you pass on, you are going to be sitting there kicking yourself years from now. It's just, that's not the way corners work, and really it's not the way receivers work. I mean, yeah, if you get a Jefferson or a Jamar Chase, and no offense to Travis Hunter, he is not one of those guys. He just isn't. He is not built like one. He doesn't move like one. And I doubt he's going to go, I don't think he's going to run at the combine, but he's not a 4.3 guy, and he's not a big physical guy. he's a long, smooth flowing athlete, but he is not a physical freak other than his stamina is incredible. But when he even did that in college, he actually got burned a lot as a DB simply because I think of a fatigue factor. Which again comes into play where you're not playing 100 plus snaps over 17 weeks in the NFL. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, he's they say he's going to work out as a DB.
Yeah.